trees, all in the same exact area.
And good evening, everyone. Convicted killer Steven Spader is now asking the state Supreme Court to review his case.
Spader's attorneys filed the appeal last week, raising 8 questions surrounding evidence and procedure. WMUR's Amy Cavino has the paperwork and is here now live with more on what Spader's lawyers want the state's highest court to examine.
Jen, this appeal is mandated by New Hampshire State Law, and experts say considering Spader was sentenced to the max on every single charge, he's got nothing to lose by filing paperwork at the Supreme Court.
It's only been a month since Steven Spader's high-profile murder trial, but already the wheels are in motion for an appeal at the Supreme Court.
In this case, he was maxed out on every count he was charged with, so he has absolutely nothing to lose by appealing it. So there's no surprise at all in him trying to get his convictions overturned.
Attorneys Cohen and Winters raise 8 questions surrounding procedure, evidence, and jury instruction in their appeal, including did the court err by admitting evidence that Spader was involved with the Disciples of Destruction and by admitting evidence that Spader wanted to make chloroform to subdue his victims. The appeal also questions the change of venue motion that was denied, citing extensive negative media coverage.
What the Supreme Court looks at is, was there a mistake on each of these issues? If there was a mistake, was the argument preserved by the defendant? That means, did he object to it or file a motion to keep it out? And then if there was a mistake and the issue is preserved, then the court looks at whether the error was harmless.
It will be months before Spader gets his day in the appellate court, and experts say it's a long shot that anything will be overturned.
It would take a structural error like a jury instruction or a jury selection issue, I think, in a case like this to get the conviction overturned.
Spader's attorneys also filed a motion to withdraw from his case and asked for the court to appoint an appellate lawyer to represent him going forward. This, too, is routine.
Appellate counsel will always look at whether the trial counsel made mistakes, and if that's the grounds for appeal. So it's always best to have a fresh set of eyes on it. It's a wise thing to do.
It's now the state's turn to review the appeal. Mark Stevens says the state will likely file for a summary affirmance. That means they asked the Supreme Court to rule that the trial court procedures followed the law, which would avoid months of back-and-forth arguments over each of the 8 issues. We'll, of course, keep you posted. Live in the studio, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.